Fake puppet leaders, orchestrated debates with opponents from the same ideology and interests, fantasy money, enslaving exorbitant taxes, monopolistic economics, constructed so you stay where you are, phony directed public mourning rituals, socially engineered education policy, diluted, anemic political commentary, manufactured values and twisted morality, fabricated history, ideologically driven imaginary science, contrived public identity and bonding, plastic, vacuous celebrities, misguided, empty-headed role models. Everything is artificial, suffocating and toxic. Time to lift off that blindfold, remove it, and look at reality the way it is. Stop trying to fit in, stop trying to please people, and be real. Be true to yourself and be true to other people. Get out of this pantomime. We are living in a pantomime, being misdirected from many directions, and this is suffocating us. We're in a play not entirely of our own making, and it's not very entertaining being within it. So it appears that we are both spectators and performers, and any movement to step outside of this manipulated audience and this manipulated performance, any attempt to turn the camera upon it, to think about what you are doing, to think about what you are following, to think about what the masses are repeating as slogans. Any critical analysis of this results in you being barred from particular places, being censored, being banned, being stifled and silenced even. So you should ask yourself why that is. You should ask yourself, why is it so important that certain ideas are continuously repeated? Why is it so important that particular ideas have to be enforced no matter what, to the point that any claim of analysis and scrutiny is actually not the case when talking from the point of view of the mainstream education, media, politics, etc. It's just like being force-fed. You're being force-fed, and if you say, well, what are you feeding me? Is this even any good for me? Then they force-feed you even more. They force-feed you even more. So it is very important, if you want to not be strangled by this orchestration, to think about which direction you are moving in, to think about what is being told to you, to think about the patterns of behavior that you are supposed to be following, to think about the focus of your activity, to think about what your life is founded upon so far, how much of that has been really studied and pondered over, and how much of it is just blind following, how much of it is going with the flow, even if that flow is down a drain. Surely people can recognize the artificial imposition of so many unnatural, contradictory and baseless ideas throughout all levels of society, globally, all over the place? Why is it that particular ideas are being pushed so much? Why is it that certain ideas are so why is it that certain ideas activate a particular emotional reaction all the time? There is obviously a collective social programming going on. So some of that may be deliberate, some of that may be as a consequence of people's indifference, of people's lack of educated, analytical, independent thinking, so that the emotions, the instincts, and the patterns of movement, the slots for you to fall in, are all there so easily fallen into. You fall into them so easily that without pausing, without attempting any friction ever, you will just glide right into place. You'll fall into your slot, you'll fulfill your role, and then you'll die in that state. So imagine being lifted out of those conditions. Imagine you're on a road, moving somewhere, and then as you move down that road, you slow down. Instead of just charging full speed ahead, you slow down and you start to look around you, and you start to think, well, maybe I can take another turning, or maybe you're being called to make a turn, which everyone makes, and then you think, actually, I want to go straight forward today. So you move forward and you end up in a totally different destination, and that destination you immediately feel is alien to what you are used to, but that it feels more natural, more beneficial, and more realistic. Not false, not programmed, not engineered, not orchestrated, not manufactured, not forged, but it seems in accordance with more who you are and who you are meant to be, or who you feel you can be in your own long-term interests. So my brief advice is, do not just go with the flow. We're in a time when people are, I'm not going to say waking up, I will say some people are recognizing some elements of falsehood that their lives have been suppressed by. And so if you can take that even further and delve deeper and think wider and longer, then maybe you can step outside of the box and start to make a change and come to the realization that you are potentially more than who you are being led to believe at this moment in time.
Why do so many people want to follow the government? Well, I think it's because they want to give all their money away, and their brains away, and their children away, and kill loads of people.
You know, I think you're right.